Hi there. I wanted to take a few minutes before we got started in January, make sure that you had all the supplies that you might like to need or want or whatever before we get started with the gravity. So I'm going to show you all the items that I'm going to have when we start this sew along. All right, here we go. Things that you probably need, but you can choose what you would like to start with sewing. It's normal type sewing, but I just want to go over in case anyone wants something to make maybe their life a little bit easier sewing. All right, so the very first thing that you absolutely need is this Gravity Block of the Month quilt book. This is Jaybird's book. She put it out in 2015. I do not have these included in the kit because so many people had them before back in 2015 when she did the very first sew along. So I kept everything kind of piecemealed. So far, everybody's been happy with that because they had one ruler or another ruler, or they had the book, or they had the rulers and the book. They just needed the cloth. Whatever, we've got you covered. So, but you will need this book. Now, there are two templates that you need, and I want to go over if you don't want to purchase the templates, the rulers. She does have a page in her book that has all the templates that you can make your own templates if you would like to do that. However, I really recommend you get the rulers. It makes it a lot easier. It's thicker than that um, the template plastic that you can get. So the very first ruler that we are going to use is the Super Sidekick. This is month one. We will use the Super Sidekick. So you will definitely need this one. Jaybird does have a smaller Sidekick ruler, but we're going to be doing pieces larger than this ruler. So you'll need the Super Sidekick so we can do those larger sizes. The other ruler that you're going to need is the Hexamore ruler. This is really my favorite of the two. I really like this one. You can get, you know, traditional hexes, triangles, diamonds, and half hexes from this ruler, and I use this one all the time. So the Super Sidekick is nice too, but I really like the Hexamore. She has lots of patterns that use this template. So it's not like you're getting a ruler for just one project. You can use it for lots of different projects. Now this is the Jaybird Fussy Cut Shapes. Not required. This is absolutely not required. But I use these to trim off of those little points on the triangles and the diamonds. And for me, it's smaller. It just makes it a lot easier. I just kind of butt it up there and trim off, and I can do it really quickly. So you will see me using these fuzzy cut shapes with this project. Pens goes without saying. We're dealing with a lot of bias edges, so you're going to need to have a nice stock of pens. Thread, I literally use Aurifil 50 weight. You're going to see various colors. I'm not one of those people that I only like one color. I do like several of the colors, the 2024 and the 2600. That's an off-white and a gray, kind of a light gray color. But you'll see me change. It's just whatever I have on the machine at the time, since you can't see it too much. What also makes life easier is a stiletto. I particularly like the By Annie stiletto. It, it has a nice long handle so I can get a good grip on it. It's got little side flat pieces so you can really get a nice grip. And also on the other end, it's got that presser so you can press those seams open while you're at the machine where you don't need to necessarily get up and go iron a whole lot. A seam ripper, keep it by your sewing machine. You're going to need it. I'm always undoing those last few little stitches. I know it helps with a leader and an ender, but sometimes I forget. So this one does have a stiletto on one end and a seam ripper on the other. I don't like the stiletto too much, but I do use this end to brush away the loose threads. So get a seam ripper. Also a nice pair of snips. With your preference, I use the LDH snips at my machine. I really like them. It works nicely for me. So the iridescent snips, they're kind of fun. Also, you're going to need a rotary cutter, goes without saying. I like the Creative Grid one. It's got a heavy touch to it, and I don't have to press as hard, and it's real easy to toggle back and forth. Also extra blades, you're definitely going to need that. This one, I really recommend it. Is it necessary? It's up to you, but I found my sewing changed dramatically when I got a 1/4 inch foot. And a 1/4 inch foot, I gotta take my glasses off so I can see, has this straight edge along one side. It's not the one that has the straight edge in the middle, but it's along the side. Mine is actually a scant 1/4 inch, which works really, really well for these patterns. So if you have a 1/4 inch foot or you would like to get a 1/4 inch foot, I highly, highly recommend it. Then for starching, and yes, I'm going to be starching everything. I probably won't starch. I'll do my heavy starching off film because I've got to let it sit for a little while, but you'll see me still using starch sometimes. I like this Magic quilting and crafting spray. It's absolutely wonderful. So this is what I use for starch, and you'll see me using this for getting those seams really, really flat. It does an amazing, amazing job. Sorry, I just touched the microphone. I will be using the Liso mini iron at the sewing machine, and I'll use the big one when we get to those background pieces. And one more thing that I forgot to talk about that I want to is Sew Tite is our main sponsor, so I want to bring your attention to them. I will be using the actual Sidekick and Hex and More, the Super Sidekick, and I will put these little magnets on it, and that really helps. Yeah, it gets hard to move. It shakes the table. So I'm going to be using those when I need extra help and want to get those pieces cut nice and straight. All right, I think that is about it. The videos get started January 8th, and I think, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. I'll also be using the Stripology ruler to cut all my strips. But anyway, we start the very first video cutting on January 8th. That will drop down. It'll send out via email and post on Facebook and post on YouTube. So surely you can get it some way, shape, or form. All right, I am so excited to get started. I will see you in January.